I tell you what, there's lately not a bad theme that WWE put for their pay-per-views.
They're good ones, aren't they?
Yeah, especially this one. Like, I love it, the southern type. Like, it suits the pay-per-view style of Extreme Rules very well. It started with the pre-show.
Anti-Extreme Rules.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm calling the pay-per-view. It wasn't Extreme Rules.
Well, it definitely had its exceptions, but some for good, some for bad, we'll call it. Pre-show, Kalisto against Apollo Crews. Excellent athleticism from both men, especially Crews with his standing 450. In a good match, though, Crews dominated most of the match, but Kalisto pinned Crews after his Delita del Sol after Crews was distracted by arguing or looking for advice from Titus at ringside. So it was just a simple match, just to continue this whole bit between the three of them at the moment. In the first match, The Miz against Dean Ambrose for the IC title, with the stipulation that Ambrose can lose the title by disqualification. Now, I know we've criticised this about the anti-extreme, but it actually was a very good match.
It was a good match. Like any pay-per-view, perfect. Extreme Rules doesn't work.
So it's the best match for the Raw pay-per-view.
Yeah, the match in isolation, great match, loved it.
But
when you put it into the stipulation and the idea of the pay-per-view, where the thing is, it kind of put me off because I knew, because they say it every year for Extreme Rules, the first thing they say, Michael Cole says, "Welcome to the one night of the year when WWE goes extreme." First match.
Nice.
You lose, but if you get disqualified, you lose your title.
Very contradictory, alright, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. Miz tried to get Ambrose DQ'd several times by getting him angry, provoking him to use his steel chair, almost making him hit him with the exposed turnbuckle, and getting Reese to hit Miz to stop Miz in the face.
I didn't like the referee in this. I felt he was too involved.
Yeah, but in a way, do you feel that he had no choice considering the stipulations of the match?
The way the referee is, because then you're showing you have a personal relationship or a personal liking to Dean Ambrose, which then means you're not. That means you're being biased, which then means you're not fit enough to be a referee. So realistically, like, if you want this to be,
but the stipulation though gave him no choice. He had
no.
Stipulation.
The thing is, the stipulation isn't for him. It was for Dean. It was for Dean to keep himself cool. So it's not for the referee to make sure Dean keeps himself cool. The referee is there to officiate the match and to make sure everything is above board. So that means if Dean Ambrose is breaking the 5-second count, the referee has no choice but to say or to disqualify him. Any other match, we're saying that the referee, you have until the count of 4. If you don't, or you have until the count of 5. If you don't do that, you're gone. The referee was getting involved, putting his hand on the competitors as well, which you're not meant to do. So I feel that's the referee got into it too much. If you want to go by the rules of what the match is, the referee wasn't doing the right job. And then the part where, when Dean gets pushed by Miz and then pushes the referee outside the ring, the ref is on the other side, and then the ref is like, "Oh, I'm going to disqualify you. I'm going to walk over to the timekeeper's area to disqualify you," because they can't hear me from that side of the ring, obviously. But in the meantime, then Dean Ambrose gets a skull-crushing finale, and before I just, "Oh wait, he's pinning him? Then I won't disqualify you. I'll just pin instead."
Now you mention it, didn't referee in a match between Miz and Ambrose, might be the last match, it wasn't the same referee, or one of the last matches where Ambrose almost got disqualified. Something very similar happened where the referee was being, "Oh, I'm going to disqualify you.
Yeah.
Here I come. I'm about to disqualify you."
That was on SmackDown. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
No, it was recently. I think it was Raw.
Because then what happened is he was saying, "Oh, it was Maurice." Then he says, "Oh, it was Maurice? Okay, I'll just get rid of her then instead."
You know what it's like? It's like if the referee is planning a surprise or something like that. And he's deliberately describing his actions so the people inside know he's coming. That's exactly
I get why they're doing it. They're trying to big it up and try and make the stipulation bigger than making the big thing about the stipulation because of the type of match it is. But realistically, when you go down to the nuts and bolts of what the match is and what the nuts and bolts of what a referee is meant to do, he was involved too much. He shouldn't have done that, and Dean Ambrose realistically should have been disqualified ages ago. So,
well, in the end, the ref was going to disqualify Ambrose after Miz pushed him into the ref.
Yeah.
And when the referee threatened, to DQ Ambrose from the outside.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to walk over to the timekeeper's area and I'm going to get you disqualified.
A distracted Ambrose was caught by Miz's skull cushion finality for the pinfall win for Miz, winning his 7th Intercontinental title, the second most reigns in history behind Chris Jericho.
I didn't call it. I thought Ambrose would win because I felt the stipulation was too obvious for it, but it is the right result.
I agree.
Miz makes that title relevant. Ambrose has not made the title relevant.
Ambrose is a better challenger than the champion. I feel
that's
certainly for the IC championship.
That's a great point. That's fantastic. That's well put. He's a great challenger, but as a champion, he's not great. Because he was the same as the WWE champion as well.
Yeah,
he wasn't great as a champ, but when he was a challenger, he was fantastic.
What's the difference? Because he was a very good US champion when he was in the Shields. Like, you know, was that different because of the faction?
He had the Shield around him. Yeah, that was different.
Good points. Yeah. Noam Dar and Alicia Fox against Rich Swann and Sasha Banks. A huge ovation for Swann as it was in his hometown of Baltimore.
Yep.
An impressive double knee from Dar from the top rope to the outside by Sasha. And a good match though in the end. Swann pins Dar after his Phoenix Splash for the win. So it's a good match there. Yeah.
Run of the mill match, you know, sort of once again not really tapping into the Extreme Rules thing idea of the pay-per-view. Like a mixed gender tag match is not really extreme.
Unless you're not considering the dancing or something like that.
Yeah, the dancing or the knees from the top rope, which were pretty impressive.
Yeah, to be fair.
But yeah, you know, keeps Sasha relevant, keeps her in the limelight for when she does chance for the title.
Elias Sampson played the guitar, questioning the hostile Baltimore crowd who wants to walk with a drifter. His song said that Baltimore is filled with filth and how he has a plan, mentioning the beast is going to be tamed. Surely he's not talking about Brock Lesnar.
I hope not.
Yeah. What's he going? What's Elias Sampson? He can go in the ring, but what's going to do to Brock Lesnar? Compared to Samoa Joe,
he is not going to do a thing.
Yeah. But then again, it's his song. What can he do? Now Bayley against Alexa Bliss, Raw Women's Title, kendo stick in a pole match. Pre-match, Bayley said he had no intentions to hurt, but she'll do whatever it takes to regain the title. That immediately doesn't make any sense. You should do whatever it takes, but she's not going to hurt. I don't know.
Bayley has pissed someone off big time backstage. Has to have. She jobbed out to Alexa Bliss in that match. That was awful.
It was probably one of the worst matches I've seen this year.
Yes.
And I hate saying that about anything, but
Bayley, I think Bayley's character and stuff is done. I thought she either needs to move to SmackDown or she needs to turn heel or change her character.
Yeah.
Because it's not there anymore.
But not even that, but the thing is, like, the last time we seen Bayley have such a more competitive way about her is when she had her rivalry in Asuka in NXT. Mm-hmm. That's how she should have been booked here. Yeah. But it wasn't.
No.
And it's so unfortunate.
It was I'm scared of going... I'm scared of using a stick. Like, you're scared of using a stick, Bayley.
Bayley grabbed the kendo stick and chased Alexa down with it, but Alexa retrieved the kendo stick after tackling Bayley and repeatedly hit her with the kendo stick, and in the end, Bayley bounced her head on the kendo stick against the corner, and Alexa finished her off with a DDT in a very disappointing match for me.
It was the worst match.
Oh, it was a very disappointing match.
It was by far the worst match. No. Like you were saying, the worst match of the year so far.
I really hate saying anything about any match, but like... It just seemed like the Bayley character is being booked too much of being a softie, like, you know. Yeah. Like, you know, when we know she can be capable of going.
Yeah.
You know, and this was in a way a chance for, like, you know, like regardless of the event, it's an opportunity, like perhaps considering the content of the event, but maybe they're saving for something else. But why would you save something like that in Extreme Rules? But again, they're probably not considering that.
Yeah.
It's just the way they're booking her is just awful. Yeah, absolutely awful. So, and it showed in this match, and it showed the week before that as well with the whole "This Is Your Life" thing as well. But let's not digress.
We don't talk about that.
Oh god, don't even get me started on that. The Hardys against Cesaro and Sheamus, the cage match for the Raw Tag Team titles. Now, the rules of escape only to win were explained before the entrances. But
it didn't make sense. Though.
Yeah, but you didn't think it made sense.
No, because it was JoJo, isn't it?
Yeah.
JoJo. Said that there's no pinfalls, there's no submission. The only way to win is both team members escaping the cage at the same time and their feet hitting the floor at the same time. So you assume that they both have to get out at the same time and then both feet hit the floor at the same time. We then get into the match, and Jeff Hardy leaves the cage by himself.
Yeah.
Leaving Matt there with just Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah.
Looking at it logically as well, that is probably the worst thing to do for a team. Why would you leave a guy there by himself? And why aren't you using the door?
Hardys have a history of this, actually, now I think about it, because I don't know if you remember their tag team title match, which was also a cage match against the Dudleys. This is back in 2001 at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
The winner would be both WWE and WCW tag team champions. And Matt was already down, asking Jeff to come down, and he decided to swanton bomb. I think it was Devon Dudley through a table, but he missed Devon, went through the table and lost the match by pinfall.
Yeah.
So a similar situation, but again, excellent use of the cage from both. Excellent use of the cage from both teams. We should mention, like, it was a good match. Inside,
I had my reservations about how, because the way cage matches have been booked recently, it's just they don't work. So it's actually, this one did, in terms of like the ruling and how parts of it were booked or questionable, but the fact that it was like a tornado tag, that all four men were in the ring at the same time, that's what I liked.
Yeah, and again, Jeff Hardy managed to escape the cage, leaving Matt to try and escape the cage with no success from the attacks of Cesaro and Sheamus. And when Matt tried to escape once again, Sheamus hit Matt with a super white noise, like the white noise, but from the top rope. And then Jeff climbed up the cage and gave the Whisper the Rins from the top of the cage to both Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yeah, just one more confusing part of it was we'll talk about it now because it leads on to the finish. Through the whole thing, Michael Cole was quick to reiterate how to finish the match, which was actually contradicting what JoJo said at the start. So he says that both members have to leave the cage. So that means he was saying that one can leave, then the other one. Obviously justifies why Jeff left. So Jeff left. So Jeff's feet are on the floor, so that counts as him leaving. Why then, when Matt was touched the floor, why didn't the match get called then? Because Jeff had already left.
That's actually a very good point. Didn't Matt leave the first out of the Hardys and he dragged Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff left, and then Matt dragged Jeff out.
But maybe it was well, maybe they have a rule, although it's their own fault for not mentioning it. It's their own fault for not mentioning it. You're right. Yeah. And they should have mentioned, okay, if he goes back in the cage, then the first one makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But you actually made a very good point. Like, what if Jeff already went out of the ring and his still counts, and then Matt came out to drag Jeff out? Yeah. Doesn't that mean
it was only the fact that Jeff was still in the ring? His feet weren't on the floor. It was why Sheamus and Cesaro won. But technically, the Hardys won.
Well, technicality, the Hardys should be tag team champions.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point. Yeah. In the end, though, Sheamus and Cesaro managed to escape the first before the Hardys, at least by theory, both teams at the same time. But there you go. That's a good point. Anyway, it was an excellent cage match, nevertheless.
It was entertaining. I liked it. Yeah.
The matches got way better, like as the night went on. That's for sure.
Yeah, because they were actually involving an extreme element.
Yeah.
Well, apart from the next match, which was a submission match, but
nevertheless, it was an excellent
match.
It was
still a good match. Yeah.
Aries seems to re-hurt his left knee and hurt his arm and shoulder as well. When Aries missed Neville with his missile drop kick, Neville locked him in his rings a Saturn submission, but Aries managed to rope break with his feet. Aries then came back with a sunset flip from the ropes before locking his lance chancery. Aries kept the hold from outside the ring, making Neville tap out, but it had to count in the ring. Neville got a beating from his bumps, especially a suicides dive off the air. Like, he really took a few nasty bumps. That one,
he landed on his face. I thought he was knocked out.
Oh man, yeah. Like, in the end, Neville took advantage of Aries' suicide dive miss by finishing Aries with his red arrow on Aries' back before forcing Aries to tap out with his rings of Saturn in a very good match.
Did you catch what happened at the end of the match?
What?
With Austin Aries just sitting there at the side of the ring with a big smile on his face.
It seemed like he was smiling, but I think that's just his natural mannerism to be like that, though.
Did you see the memes going around of that?
No.
It was like, it's broken Austin Aries. Well, what do you feel that is?
What do you mean?
Is that leading to something different? And especially with his tweet afterwards.
Well,
too. He was like, I'm going to have to take time and reevaluate what I want to do now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, there is speculation now that he's going to take a break for a while now. Yeah. Like, whether it's reassessing his situation. Like,
but we didn't see him this past week. So
that's true, yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think maybe he's going to turn back heel, or do you think maybe he'll go somewhere else?
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Well, you know, what more can we sell to him now with the cruiserweight division? Like, you know,
true. You're not going to put him in the shuffle with all the others.
Well, maybe, like, you know, the match, we're so used to seeing him and Neville at the moment. Maybe we just need a break from it. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. but it's not now. Like it's we need to bring it back when it's fresh again. Like, you know, what I found very disappointing about this match, and it's not just the match itself, the crowd didn't seem into it at all. Like, they didn't react to it as much as the cage match.
No.
Like, you know, I think the air came out of them in the cage match and just weren't into that, which is such a shame, because it was probably technically the best match.
There's always that match afterwards that is there just because the crowd are going to be down low, and it's just one to help them build themselves back up for the main event.
That's it.
I thought that would have been the mixed tag team match myself, but no, they went for the cruiserweights instead.
Which I think is good, because it gave them the time to wrestle, have the proper match that they should have had. All like the best possible match where there had to be a definite winner. And so in that sense, it was definitely the best match to put as co-main event, in my opinion. So regardless of the crowd,
I wouldn't call it a co-main event.
Well, the match before the main event, we'll call it. The main event itself, then, Wyatt, Joe, Balor, Rollins, and Reigns, Fatal 5-Way title eliminator for the Universal title. Excellent match. Like, it was by far the highlight of the show. It seemed like every time Roman was hurt or attacked during the match, he was cheered down by the crowd. It's typical. That's the way it is, unfortunately, with Roman. Balor was particularly aggressive in this match. He's really showing an aggressive streak lately, isn't he?
He is. He definitely showed when he going mental with that chair for a little while.
Oh, yeah, grinning his teeth and everything, you know.
I think that's good, because you need to build him to have that aggressive streak, especially if you want to sell a feud with him and Brock.
Oh, stop, yeah. Or anyone for that matter, like, you know. So, highlights of the match included Roman spearing Joe and Finn through the barricades, and Rollins frog splashing Bray through the announce table. It looked like Rollins injured his leg with that frog splash. He was checking his leg afterwards.
Yeah, there was... there's one small disappointment I had in this match, and it is a small one, because I felt the match in general was quite good, very entertaining. For an Extreme Rules match, I felt there wasn't enough done enough extreme things done, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, they had the barricade, the spear through the barricade, but like, he's done that at a lot of pay-per-views. You got him through the announce table. Then again, you can do that at any match, really.
There's not enough use
It doesn't
of
seem to
weapons.
count the same as going through an actual table where you get disqualified for. But yeah, there was a bit with the chairs, obviously, with Finn. There was a bit with the stairs with Bray and just about with Joe. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of Extreme Rules type action. I did say, like, last week, that you probably see a Shield powerbomb, three-way powerbomb, which I felt it should have done, because I think that would have worked really well, and it would have been a nice way to get the crowd a good reaction from the crowd. So that's one small disappointment I have. That's it. That was the only thing that I could put a downer on that match for.
Yeah. Well, again, it was an awesome match, though. It looked like Finn was about to win the match by nailing Roman with his coup de grace. Joe locked in his Coquita clutch on Finn to make him pass out for the win and become number one contender. And you know what? I'm delighted Joe won, actually, because not many people called Joe.
No,
certainly no one called him to.
No.
I
felt he had a chance. I felt it was down to him and Seth Rollins.
Okay.
For a chance to do it, because this is going to be a one-off match.
Yeah.
Because Braun is going to face Brock at SummerSlam, well, I believe, anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe Seth could have been the right option, especially because then it would have came up to a year since he came back from his knee injury.
Yeah.
I thought would have played well. But Joe, I'm really looking forward to that match.
Yeah, why not? That should be an awesome match, and especially as we'll see later
with their
on.
very questionable design for Great Balls of Fire, by the way.
Oh, stop!
Very questionable.
Very questionable. Well, you know what surely they should have taught it. I mean, theme and all, it's like.
But like, that has to go through a whole process of being okayed and everything like that. You know, it has to by higher ups. Did no one look at that and think that's
a great idea?
that is what that is. We don't need to say what it is, because if you look at it, you know what it is.
It's not rocket science, like, you know.